Again, how dare you presume that ADD is an environmental thing that the parents push on to the child? I'll have you know, my parents were loving, supportive. We had that special time that you were talking about at the end of your video about just playing with the child, doing what the child wants to do. You know, all of the things you said were just good parenting tips. Things that any parent should do with their child. It's not going to magically cure ADD. That's just good parenting. End of story. And it seems to me that these little videos of yours are more about you, more about your books, more of a way of selling your books and your ideas, your opinions, not facts based on science, based in psychology, opinions based on you and your thoughts and your ideas, not facts. Like I said, I took a test, a physical written test, to determine if I was ADD, administered by a third party, not the school, not doctors, not my doctors, a third party who does the testing subjectively. And I was found to have ADD. I was tested while in high school and middle school and elementary school about once every 2 to 3 years. When I was younger, it was every school year I was retested, just to make sure I still had it, And like I said, I've lived with it for 21 years. I was diagnosed when I was 6 years old, and I've had it ever since. It is not make-believe. It is not false. It's not a fraud. It's not a scam. It is real. It is something that I live with every day of my life. Every day. I have to live with it. I have to struggle with it. I have problems paying attention. I struggle with getting places on time because I lose track of time because I'm not focused. I struggle with math. I struggle with writing. It took me 8 hours to do my homework, maximum. Minimum, 5. 5 hours for one class. Maybe 2. And I usually had about 6 or 7. Imagine that. I struggled. I had some teachers that were god-awful who were like you, who didn't believe there was such thing as ADD, who didn't think that children had special needs. The brain is a complex thing. We don't even know everything that it can do. We're still trying to learn about the human brain. It is that complex. Humans have been alive for how many centuries? How many millennia? And we still don't fully grasp the human brain. There are still things about it that are an enigma. ADD does not affect the intelligence of a child. It affects how quickly you can learn something. It doesn't mean you're stupid. It doesn't mean that you're mentally challenged. It doesn't mean that you're retarded. It just means that you learn at a slower rate. It takes you longer to grasp things. It takes you longer to complete a task. I might take a different path to get to the same end result as you, and it might take me longer to get there, but that end result is going to be the same. I'm just going to take a different path to get there. I'm going to take a little longer to get there because my brain doesn't work the same. You know? We don't fully understand how the brain works. And ADD is involved in how the brain works. Not that there's something wrong with it. How it's wired, if you will. How the synapses connect and how they contact each other. That's where ADD lies. In that part of the brain that we haven't yet discovered how it works. Until we know how it works, we won't know how ADD, what makes it occur in people. You know what I mean? You probably don't. But until we understand how and why the brain works the way it works for a normal person, how are we ever going to understand how it works for somebody who's not, except for those individuals who are not normal? I've never been normal. I've always taken longer to do things. I've always struggled more. School was never an easy task. It was a struggle. I think I graduated with a C average. That's just barely passing. You know? And I don't think you've ever worked with an ADD child. You couldn't have. If you have, you haven't seen any progress. Not any real progress. I mean, yeah, you can teach kids organization and time management and things like that, but they're still going to struggle in school. They're still going to struggle to grasp things in the home. I had to learn the difference between hot and cold when I was 2. I didn't know the difference. I didn't understand the difference. I didn't understand that it was bad to touch that hot pot, that it was bad to pull it down, that I was going to get burned. I didn't know. And I was 2. Most kids understand that just by being told. They can grasp that without it being taught. A mother tells the child, don't touch that, that's hot, you'll get burned. The child's response is, oh, okay. And then they don't touch it because they don't want to get burned. Because children don't want to get hurt. Kids don't like getting hurt. That's why they cry. That's why they express the emotions of pain. I didn't know. My mother said, no, don't touch that, it's hot. And I still touched it. She had to put my hand on the freezer, in the freezer, and say, ooh, cold, brrr. And then hold my hand near a warm oven, not on it, but near it so I could feel the heat radiating from it. And she said, ooh, hot, ouch, you know, it'll burn, ow. And she had to do that several times, going back and forth, until I got it. And I didn't touch that hot stove. And I didn't try and pull down that hot boiling pan of water. There is a developmental disorder with children who have ADD. We're smart. It just takes us a little longer to get it. And we have to take a different path to get there. And that is ADD. You think you know, but you have no idea. So how dare you presume? How dare you?